Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about intermittent fasting, the good things about it, the bad things about it, who it might be a useful nutritional strategy for, and the questions that I still have in my mind about it. Here we go. So intermittent fasting is not a diet, but it is a nutritional timing strategy that some people use for a lot of reasons really, whether it's their physique, their body, fat loss, but also there's a variety of health reasons that people do this for as well. And I've literally just been trying it out for the past few weeks really, and I've kind of avoided it and told people not to do it, but I haven't really advised people to do it the last few years because my original or historical nutritional beliefs of the past few years have all been about just adopting a healthy, wholesome, nutritional approach that fits one's lifestyle, and I haven't really believed in making these full stop times for people and giving people the flexibility that they need to enjoy their food and their nutrition. And I've had incredible results for myself and with other people. However, in most recent couple of years, I've seen the momentum build and build and build with intermittent fasting, the science getting stronger, and I've kind of started to look a little bit into it. So I thought, if this is happening and lots of people ask me questions about it, then it's wise that I give it a go and feed back to you. So they're my previous thoughts about it. But with that being said, I have naturally used fasting or fasted training for years and years and years, but I just haven't called it intermittent fasting. Most days I wake up, I don't eat, so I've been fasted all night long since yesterday's dinner, and I go out and I do walking or running or cardio of some form or yoga. That is fasted training, and I've always utilized that as a way to, in my mind, it seems like a common sense approach that I haven't got any food in my stomach, in my system, so surely I'd be using fat for fuel rather than food because I haven't eaten any fuel. So I've always taken that approach in my mind. In the past, I've got myself in incredible shape. A few years ago, when I was at the peak of my fitness modeling career, getting shredded, I have used that morning tactic to help burn fat alongside tracking my calories, tracking my macros to make sure I'm hitting the right amount of nutrition that I need to build muscle and transform my body. And I've done that for years and years and years. However, this is what I've been starting to play around with recently. And I started with the classic 16 and 8, meaning 16 hours fasted and 8 hours window of eating. And I started with pretty much a 12 o'clock midday, breaking my fast, eating for 8 hours until 8 p.m. and then repeating that cycle. But I started to think about a few things. I started to think, can you do this every day? The problem with doing this every single day is, let's talk about calories. So depending on what your goal is, but if my goal is to stay lean, build muscle, and I'm continuously in a massive calorie deficit because I've only got 8 hours to eat, so I'm eating, I don't know, 1500 or 1800 calories, that's still a massive calorie deficit whilst I'm training and being active. If you do that every single day, you'll be consistently under eating and having this massive deficit, which of course, you're gonna lose weight, you're gonna lose fat most probably, maybe even muscle, but we'll get to that, I'm not totally sure. But what that will do is you'll gradually have less and less energy. You surely won't recover very much. You'll get hungrier and hungrier. This is all from my short-term experience here. That will gradually drive your metabolism down. If your body is consuming less and less calories over the whole week, your metabolism will slowly drop down as well. And that's not the most ideal thing when trying to keep your body fit, active, muscular, and transform your body. But secondly to that, thinking about the nutrients, if you've only got 8 hours to eat or less, depending on what strategy you're taking or thinking about taking, is you might not be able to get all of the nutrients and minerals and micronutrients that you need in your diet without getting deficiencies in some of those nutrients. So that might not be the safest approach, and it's tough to get in everything and get that variety of nutrition that you need. And one other thing I noticed with that as well is if you are managing to squeeze in all those calories, so for example, if I wanted to, in that 8 hour time, actually reach 2000, 2500 calories or more, then digestion wise, obviously there are perks or benefits to not eating in your fasted time. It's good for your digestion, you're giving it a rest. But in that 6 or 8 hours where you're eating, and you're eating a lot because you try and eat a lot of good food with that amount of calories, then I didn't feel that that was great for my digestion. It was just like stuffing food upon food. And then how much of that food are you actually digesting? For example, how much of that protein are you actually synthesizing? How much of like all of those nutrients are just getting flushed through because you're eating so quickly next to each other? So there are some of the questions in my mind. So then what I started to realize is that some of the experts in this field weren't actually saying to do intermittent fasting every single day, but more like something that you would apply a few times a week to take advantage of the fasting benefits, the calorie deficit, but not something that you do every single day. So for example, this might be something that you apply 2 or 3 times a week or 4 times a week, where you have that 8-hour window where your calories are going to be reduced, and the other days you'll have your normal calories without going crazy, but you'll be able to have your variety of food and catch up and keep your metabolism up by not being in a continuous massive deficit. And at this point I just want to talk about the obvious things that people say about intermittent fasting, is that it works because you're in a calorie deficit, and that is most probably the biggest part that's true. My question in my mind is that yes, it takes you in a calorie deficit, but surely fasted training, and there must be some benefits of being fasted as well. So I think putting fasted training or a fasted morning plus being in a calorie deficit is going to fuel results even more if your results are to lose fat and lose weight. Let's talk about hunger. I felt with me that hunger came and went. There are some days that were bad, some days that were just really easy. And I think that pretty much depends on how much food you've been eating in the previous days, how long you've been doing this for, and also how hard you're training and how much your body is craving nutrition from excessive training or HIIT training, intense weightlifting and things like this. If I was desperate for food, and you know, you only live once, but I was thinking, if I'm hungry and I'm really ready to eat, then I'll bring breaking my fast earlier and eat anyway, depending on the type of the day it was. But also, if I wanted to push a little bit further and just like suppress the hunger slightly, then drinks can help. Obviously, water is the priority when you're in a fasted period, but also caffeinated drinks may help suppress the hunger if you're not going to break your fast through anything that has calories in. So black coffee, green teas, or matcha green teas, and actually the caffeine can help boost the fat loss benefits even further. So you might want to be doing this pre-walking or jogging or cardio whilst in a fasted state to boost those fat loss results even further. I think one of the most simplest, basic reasons why this works for so many people and can even work for me is that it has rules. And back to the beginning of this video, I mentioned about giving people the flexibility, and I think a lot of people need that flexibility, but I think it's in human nature that some people actually love having the rules. So when you know that you can break your fast at this time and you finish it at that time, that actually creates a structure that people actually love, and some people really do. Like for example, if you know that you stop eating at 8 o'clock in the evening, it would normally be those last couple of hours of the day that you'd drop in low motivation and you'd pick up some chocolate or whatever. And that 200, 300 or 500 calories in the evening every night could be something that's repetitively done and really prevent you from reaching your goals. So on the other side of the coin, if you are not having those few hundred calories every single night, that could be the thing that helps you get closer to your goals and gives you that strictness that you're looking for, because you've got the rules in place. It may work for some people, may not for others. For me, it kind of does. And also, obviously, like intermittent fasting does work because it puts you in a calorie deficit, probably most of all. So if you're intermittent fasting, but you're still managing to be in a calorie surplus, then obviously you're not gonna work. If you're eating crap, eating shit, eating the processed foods and all the junk, and you're doing intermittent fasting, then it's not going to work. The main thing that you have to do is, if you are intermittent fasting, is when you are eating, you're eating real, wholesome, good, nutritious foods to then really jump on top of the bandwagon of the whole mission and actually fueling your body with good food and making results happen even quicker and even faster. Because if you're just fueling your body with rubbish, it's not going to work. So let's clarify a little bit more about who this might be useful for. We said a lot about losing weight, losing fat, and obviously it works well for that because you're going to be in a big calorie deficit and you're pushing your body into fat burning zones by not giving the fuel that it needs to use the sugars and the carbohydrates and the glycogen, and your body's going to use fat stores as well as being in a calorie deficit continuously. Yes, but for me, where I'm really focusing on building the muscle or at least maintaining the muscle, but yeah, I'm looking to build muscle and burn fat, then I'm not 100% sure. If you're really overweight and you've got a lot of fat to lose, then I think it's quite a good strategy to use. But with that being said, if you are really overweight, then you don't have to do it, because you can simply cut out the junk food, improve some nutritional parts about your day and your activity, and cut out sugary drinks or processed foods, and you'll probably get results. But if you hit a plateau, then it might be something that really pushes past some stubborn fatty areas. If you are somebody that is looking to build muscle or gain weight, then I don't think it's the best approach, because if you are struggling to get in the amount of calories you need to gain weight, then the last thing you want to be doing is reducing that window of how many hours you can eat. Like I said, that's going to be really challenging to do with real good wholesome foods, and you're going to be starting to eat junk foods to try and get those calories up, and also you're going to struggle with actually digesting all that food because it's such a short time window. So if you are looking to build lots of muscle and your priority isn't fat loss or weight loss, then I would stick to actually waking up and eating regular meals to try and make that happen. And I am from the existing bro science of you must eat protein 20, 30, 40 grams every 3 hours to build muscle. So doing this intermittent fasting and seeing myself maintain muscle, which I have done, is giving me some new thoughts about actually the body can maintain muscle whilst being in fasted state for a long time. But if you're really focusing on building mass and muscle, then this probably isn't the best approach for you. So what am I going to do from now on, just a few weeks into this? I'm going to carry on. I'm not going to do it every day like I did at the beginning, and I saw those issues that I had. So what I'm going to do is apply intermittent fasting with the 16-8 and start eating at 12 o'clock midday to 8 o'clock in the evening, maybe 2 or 3 times a week depending on my lifestyle. The other days of the week, I'm going to do what I normally do, which is get up and do my fasted walk or fasted training, and probably break my fast at something like 9 or 10, because probably, I've seen many people talk about this, having a 12-hour fast and a 12-hour eating window has benefits as well. Just having that structure, not just in fat loss and fitness, but health and autophagy reasons as well. And that is the rejuvenation of cells, which is the key word that a lot of these experts are saying. So that's interesting to note. So I'm going to be doing that alongside tracking my calories, tracking my macros, and making sure that I'm actually hitting the protein target that I'm looking for, making sure that I'm hitting the calorie target that I'm looking for. If I can't hit that number on my fasting days, then that's okay. I'll accept the calorie deficit and the fat loss, and then make sure on my non-long fasting days that I'm hitting those macros, if my lifestyle allows me to. There are some days where I don't track my calories or macros, and that's completely fine. I'll have flexible dieting on those days. I feel like that approach is like taking the best of both approaches together, taking the positives of them both and seeing what results can come. Because like I said, in the past, I've got myself in the best shape possible using tracking my calories and flexible dieting and making sure I hit the macros. So if I can do that alongside intermittent fasting as well, then maybe I'll get myself in even better shape. We'll see. So comment underneath the experiences you've had with intermittent fasting so far. I'll keep you guys updated with my progress. Make sure you're following me on Instagram if you're there as well. And let me know if you have any questions underneath or future video ideas for me. Make sure you click subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and if you have subscribed, make sure you click the notification bell so when I post a video you don't miss it and you'll be the first there to see what's going on. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.